At least 43 people have died and millions are left without power after Hurricane Helene roared through the southeastern US.
At least 45 people are now known to have been killed by Hurricane Helene, which has left a trail of destruction in the southeast of the United States. Emergency services are rescuing people who've been trapped by the rising floodwater, and it's feared that power outages in Florida and Georgia could last weeks. Our correspondent David Willis has this report.
Hurricane Helene turned roads into rivers, left cars submerged, and cut power supplies to an estimated 4 million people. Downed power lines added to the chaos confronting rescue crews as they mounted a waterborne search for those trapped.
Anybody in your house? Fire department! Come on out, we got a boat!
Among the stranded, more than 50 people who took to the roof of this Tennessee hospital as floodwaters across several southeast states rose to levels many areas had never seen before. Touring the worst-hit areas, Florida's governor said Helene's legacy would be considerable.
When you're talking about storm surge of this magnitude, I mean, we talked to some folks that think it went 20 feet where the stuff's just getting washed out. That's really, really devastating. So there's going to be a lot of work to do in these areas over the next days, weeks, months, and unfortunately, sometimes these things take years.
The storm weakened in strength after making landfall, but early estimates have put the cost of repairs at up to $26 billion. David Willis, BBC News, Los Angeles.
At least 52 people have died and millions are without power after Hurricane Helene swept through the southeast of the United States. The storm left a trail of destruction extending hundreds of miles from Florida to Virginia. Hundreds lost their homes and millions lost power, whilst rescue efforts are continuing tonight. Callum Fairhurst reports.
Streets flooded, houses swept away.
Oh my God.
Dozens dead, thousands homeless. Hurricane Helene has left its path of destruction across America's southeast. In Florida, the state first to be savaged by its 140-mile-an-hour winds, many have lost everything.
This was where our home was. This was where we lived full time, right there. It was a big 2-story blue and white house.
Nothing remains of Ashlyn's house. The only thing they have left is each other.
It's very devastating. Like, we all grew up down here, and like my grandpa, he passed away, and that's all the memories we have are down here, and it's just so sad.
The winds have been weakening, but warnings remain in place. Many in Asheville in North Carolina are among the millions who've lost power, and the risk of flooding remains. While in Tennessee, this century-old dam hadn't ever seen water levels like it.
I'm going to go see if I can help this lady out a little bit more.
Meanwhile, in Atlanta, this weather presenter interrupted his broadcast to save a woman stranded by rising floodwaters.
And there is Bob carrying her out.
Although Helene has now weakened, experts say there's still a risk of heavy winds, flooding and tornadoes. Thousands remain in shelters with nothing but the mammoth task of rebuilding ahead. Callum Fairhurst, ITV News.